Hello friends, hope you all are fine. Today we are going to just discuss about a very rare infection, rare opportunistic infection which is becoming normal or common these days, and I'm sure you all must have heard about it, and it is the black fungus, which is also known as mucormycosis. Now, usually, this infection, that is the mucormycosis, is a rare opportunistic infection. You don't get to hear a lot of cases about it. The incidence is low, but the reason why it is so common is that there are a couple of predisposing factors or risk factors which is helping this black fungus to cause a lot of havoc in hospital. So let's see what it is. Now, this mucormycosis, of course, it's a fungal disease. It's a rare opportunistic fungal disease which is caused by Rhizopus mucor. It belongs to the Zygomycetes class of the fungal classification. Coming to the main point, what are the risk factors? The risk factors: patients who are having underlying disease or they have underlying disease like diabetes, hypertension, or if they are on immunosuppressants, or if they have had a lot of extensive use of corticosteroids, extensive use of broad spectrum antibiotics, extensive use of monoclonal antibodies like tocilizumab, which is nowadays being given in COVID-19 positive patients. Also patients who have had organ transplant. These are the patients, or you can say the patients who are already having an immunosuppression. Their immune is already suppressed. It's not like the immunity of like us young people. So these people are more prone to get this fungal infection. The reason why it is getting highlighted nowadays is because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Because the COVID-19 pandemic, if you see the pathogenesis of COVID-19, it kind of makes a pathway or makes a clear road for this fungus to come. And that's how we see a fungus in this viral land. Also, the treatment of COVID-19 includes steroids and monoclonal antibody like tocilizumab. So these are, in the long run, not good. They kind of cause immunosuppression of the patient. That is the reason, if you see the guidelines, the latest guidelines which has been released yesterday by AIIMS, it says do not use steroids for mild cases. Even if the fever is for more than 7 days, do not use steroids or corticosteroids or cortisol, whatever it is, in mild cases. They have also removed the plasma therapy. I would request you to go through that guideline. Like a lot of changes has been made. So these are the possible risk factors. Now, what happened? What are the clinical features? How do you get to know that this patient is gonna have? How do you have this suspicion that this patient might have this fungal infection? Now, the patients will come with very common clinical features like periorbital swelling, pain in the eye, loss of vision. Patient will say not able to see properly. My vision is not clear as it used to be last month or as it used to be last week. You might also see patients complaining of pain in the sinus, maxillary sinus, or ethmoid or frontal sinus. Patient complaining of conjunctival edema, chemosis. In more severe cases, there are keratitis. Patient complaining of unilateral swelling. Patient complaining of fever. So these are the clinical features which patient will come with you, and if you take a detailed history, you'll come to know that this patient has been COVID positive last month or last week, or this patient has used corticosteroids or steroids, or this patient has underlying disease conditions like diabetes or hypertension, or this patient has used broad spectrum antibiotics, or maybe this patient is currently under the active case of COVID-19. So this is how we will quickly pick up that this patient is now going to have might have the fungal infection. And so the investigation, since it's a fungal infection, the histopathological, microscopy and culture, CT and MRI scan can also be done to see the extension of disease. So like The thing is that it can the fungal infection or the mucormycosis, it can affect your orbit region, it can cause orbital compartment syndrome, it can reach to your sinus rhinitis, it can spread through the cavernous sinus to your brain or cerebral region, and that's how it is called ROM, that is rhino orbital cerebral mucormycosis. It can also cause pulmonary mucormycosis, where if you do a CT, you will see a halo kind of sign. If you Google it now, you will see a lot of nice CT scans and you will appreciate it very well. So this is the investigation, and the treatment, of course, it is surgical debridement of the sinus where it has spread through, use of liposomal amphotericin B. But even before we go to the treatment, remember, my friends, that the morbidity and mortality rate of mucormycosis is high. So even before there is this treatment and hospital visits, again that same that same kind of havoc or lethargy or hard work, or already we are seeing so much is going on in hospital. So again, a second visit in hospital for this, it can be easily avoided. How? By following the preventions. And what are the preventions? Do not use steroids at home. Just because your neighbor has used, or just because you have seen in some kind of WhatsApp messages, or just because someone ABCD has advised you, do not use steroids until and unless a good physician of yours have prescribed, until and unless there is an indication, absolute indication of use of steroids. Just do not use because your cousin has used it since he was COVID positive, or just because your best friend or your relative or your neighbor has used it, you also want to use it. No, don't do that. Please, never do that. Second thing, the same with the corticosteroids. Do not use avoid overextensive use of broad spectrum antibiotics or any kind of monoclonal antibodies. And even when these steroids are being indicated or prescribed, or any kind of monoclonal antibodies are prescribed, try to use it in the smallest dose for the shortest interval of time. Remember 2S, smallest dose and shortest interval of time. Also, keep your surrounding clean. Usually this fungal spore is fine in the soil and in the air as well. So do not go or visit area which is full of dust, like construction sites. Don't avoid such places. Stay indoor, have proper ventilation, have a good diet, good hygiene, and I'm sure this muco will not last for a long time. So it's not difficult to prevent this fungal infection. We just have to be a little vigilant, a little careful, so that we can avoid any further hospital visits, any further physical, psychological or mental or emotional distress to patient who has already been in hospital for COVID-19 infection treatment. So this is how we're going to spread the awareness and tell people that before you go through any kind of messages or any kind of online post, just confirm it more than at least thrice before you actually think you should work on it or forward it to anyone, especially when it is related to this pandemic. And if you have any other information related to this mucormycosis, you can please share your information in the comment, or you can message or email me personally. There are a few very nice research papers about the rhino orbital cerebral mucormycosis. If you're interested in knowing the pathogenesis, please go through and read it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.